Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching us from. This is Odum Maths, and today I want us to look at quadratic equation. And quadratic equation is of the form, or an equation of the form, ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. Okay. Now we have about, and this one, let me say, where a is not equal to 0. When a tends to 0, it changes the type of equation. Okay. So we have about 3 methods of solving this equation. The first one is factorization. Factorization method. The second one is completing the squares. Then the third one, the quadratic formula. The quadratic formula. Okay. So I want us to look at this first method here. So for the factorization, what we do is ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. So we take the coefficients of x squared, that is a, to multiply this c, the constant here. So in actual sense, you are going to get AC. So AC, then you find the factors of AC. From the factors, you look for two numbers. That is when multiplied or subtracted will fit this B or will fit here. Okay. Now, let's look at these two examples. So solve the following. So the first one, that is 2x squared minus x minus 1 equals 0. So like I said earlier, you take the coefficients of x squared and multiply by the constants. So the coefficient of x squared here is 2. So 2 times negative 1 is going to give us negative 2. Okay, let me write it. So 2 times negative 1 is negative 2. So we find the factors of negative 2. And the factors of negative 2, we have plus or minus, because we look at both the negative and then the positive side. So plus or minus 1, and then plus or minus 2. Okay, now these two, they are now plus 1 minus 1, so 2 here, making 4. Let's look for two numbers when added or subtracted will give us negative 1. This negative 1 here. Okay, so let's see. If I take negative 1 and positive 2, if I add, I'm going to get positive 1, which will not fit here. If I take negative 2 and positive 1, so that is negative 2 and positive 1, this is going to give me negative 1. But let's see, if I multiply this, am I going to get the negative 2? Yes. So it means I'm going to take the negative 2 and then the positive 1, which will fit here. So now I'm going to have 2x squared minus 2x plus, please, this is no more going to be plus 1x, but rather x. So x minus 1 equals 0. From here we have 1, 2, 3, 4 terms. So we can group them into 2. So the first 2 terms, the common number is, the common number to the 2 terms, we have 2 and then x. So here we have 1x remaining. So x minus, this place 2x is moving, it has moved here. So that is going to be 1. So let's see, this and this will give us this one. This and this also give us this one. Now plus here, we have only one, just one common to them. So 1 into brackets, x minus 1. And we should also make sure that the two brackets have the same terms. Okay. So this is equal to 0. Okay. Now, from what we have there, we have x minus 1 common, and then 2x minus plus 1. So into brackets 2x plus 1 and then x minus 1. So this is equal to 0. If we are to expand this and simplify, we are going to get the question given. Okay. Now we take this, what is in this bracket, and equate it to 0, and find x, and then we take this also and equate it to 0. So the first one, 2x plus 1 equals 0. Let me move this to the other side. So, or add additive inverse of positive 1 to both sides. So that is going to give me 2x equals negative 1. Then we divide both sides by 2. So x becomes negative 1 over 2. Then we take this also. So x minus 1 equals 0. And with this, x becomes 1. So therefore, solving this question, 2x squared minus x minus 1 equals 0, we had x to be negative 1 over 2 and then positive 1. Now let's look at the second example, that is x squared minus 2x minus 3 equals 0. Okay, like I said earlier, you take the coefficients of x squared and that of the constants and then multiply them, and also from the products, you look for the factors of whatever you got from multiplying these two numbers. Then you find the factors, two numbers, from the factor you find two numbers that will fit this side. Okay, so negative, positive 1 times negative 3, so 1 times negative 3 becomes negative 3. So the factors of negative 3, we have plus or minus 1, plus or minus 3. This is because 3 is a prime number, so that is why we are getting two factors. Plus or minus 1, plus or minus 3. Now I am going to take two numbers that will fit this negative 2 here. Okay, so if I take positive 1 and negative 3, if I add, I'm going to get negative 2. So let me take these two numbers, that is positive 1 and then negative 3. Okay, so I'm going to put these numbers here. So my x squared, that is this x squared, then I took plus 1, so plus x, because the x here is 1x, but we don't write 1x. Okay, so x minus 3x minus 3 equals 0. So that this and this will give us what is in the original question itself. Okay, so here the common term is x. So x out, x plus 1. Then here we have negative 3 being common to them. So minus 3 out, x plus 1. So if I expand this, I'm going to get the same thing. If I do the same here, I'm going to get this one equals 0. So those in the brackets will stand alone, and those outside the bracket will also be in one bracket. So x minus 3 in one bracket, and then x plus 1 in another bracket equals 0. So like I did earlier, so I take this equate to 0 and this one also to 0. So x minus 3 equals 0. That is going to give me x to be equal to 3. Then x plus 1 equals 0. X becomes negative 1. So that is that. So when you go, you try this example here. That is 2x squared minus 5x plus 3 equals 0. So here, like I said earlier, you multiply these two numbers, then whatever you get, you find the factors of that, the answer. Then from the factors, you take two numbers that will fit here. That's when you add or subtract, you are going to get this. But when you multiply, you get the product of this and this one. Thank you.